These speeches that we're giving aren't really easy. They're pretty difficult. I know I'm not alone in how much pressure is put on you during these, even if they're only recorded in front of 15 people and sent online. I'm not here just for this class or for the grade. I actually want to give you some advice on something that could possibly we could all benefit from during finals week. Meditation is not only an interest of mine for a while now, but I've been practicing it on and off since I discovered the Quiet Prayer Lounge at PSU, and it's really given me a lot of insight on what goes on, or just everyday doings. Indian scriptures from over 5,000 years ago called tantras date meditation practices back to 5,000 years ago. It's also a fundamental aspect of Buddhist, Zen, Tao, and Hindu disciplines, and its practice in cultures around the world. There's something we're kind of seeing more and more of as we approach the end of the term and finals week. This kind of weariness that you see around, sometimes the despair or exhaustion, or when you're tired and cry out like, I did it, I finished these finals, and then you pass out. I want to be real with you guys and talk to you about meditation and why it's at least worth considering in finals week and with as much pressure as this. As college students, we're very prone to stress and anxiety. With the amount of work and responsibilities it takes to succeed as a student in their mid-20s, or even just get through your bachelor's degree, it's difficult, and you can be put under a severe amount of stress without even knowing about it. I've done some very obscure things when it comes near the end of the term. I often find myself drinking a lot more coffee than usual. This morning I didn't have any though. Or sometimes I'm a little less conscious of other people around me, or sometimes I won't really keep track of what I say. But I've also seen a lot of weird stuff happen towards the end of the term as well. In my Calculus 3 class last week, my professor, instead of pouring trail mix into his hand during the break period, he poured cherry Coke into his hand in front of the class. So you can see how this anxiety kind of gets to you as this term wraps up. Due to this intensity, we often forget to take care of ourselves or take a moment to just breathe, or and if you extend that for a few moments, that could be considered a form of meditation, but certainly just a moment of that could be considered as well. To paraphrase Herbert Benson, a professor at Harvard Medical School, he discovered that meditation counteracts the effects of the sympathetic nervous system, the one that gives humans a desire to fight or flee in conflict situations. And I think to go with the status quo is to keep going through life and trying to keep pushing through no matter what harms may happen. But ignoring the mental and physiological or psychological damages of acute anxiety, it's kind of to deny yourself a calm sense of well-being after finals like today. Meditation isn't always just sitting down for a long time. Walking meditation, for example, can be done wherever. I sometimes do it from class to class. Sometimes I'll just sit on the bus and not really think about anything. But these are all forms of meditation. What got me interested in all of this was one day, sophomore year, during Dead Week, I was really anxious and I could not stop thinking about this problem that I was working on that was for an assignment that was turned in the week before. But I went into the Quiet Prayer Lounge, I'm not really a religious dude, I just went in there to kind of see what it was all about. And I found this book, if you guys want to pass it around. But I found that book, and it's pretty basic. It just basically tells you what the fundamental part of sitting down and kind of adhering to some sort of meditation discipline is. A handful of scholarly articles, though, while I was doing research for this, suggest that meditation is not correlated to a significant improvement in individuals with severe anxiety, depression, or other psychological disorders. That being said, this art has been practiced for over 5,000 years. This has been passed down through hundreds of generations of practitioners, and it's been splintered into many different styles of meditation. It's also a consistent practice, so it can be difficult to kind of try and find the time every day to meditate. Some people can't sit long enough in silence, and I often can't do the same myself. And that's okay, because any time sitting down and just kind of being aware of what's around is in itself a discipline of some sort. If enough time and care is put into studying, or if enough time and care is put into meditating, it can really help. Your mind kind of is still in a way. One example I found was like throwing a rock into a pond. The pond will be disturbed, but eventually it will settle down and be clear again. The Quiet Prayer Lounge is in the Smith basement. I can't tell you how to meditate or what practice to believe or not to believe, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to learn about this practice that people may or may not have considered. Meditation is a practice where you just sit quietly and you listen to your breath and you watch your thoughts pass by and you don't really interact with them. At this point in the year, though, we're very prone to anxiety, and we're prone to getting overworked from finals and speeches like this and other social obligations. Meditation in itself isn't necessarily a social obligation, though. It can be done anywhere, anytime, and just by being aware. I'm happy to provide any resources if you'd like, but I implore some of you, if you're interested, to go and check out the basement of Smith sometime. I'll leave you with this, though. When you sit down, when everything is too much to handle, when the pressure is so overwhelming that you can't even focus on how overwhelming the pressure is, count your breaths, feel your lungs rise and fall. Give yourself 10 seconds to catch your breath and think. That's all it is. Thanks.